Imagine the shock of discovering your herd has been raided overnight, leaving you with a gaping hole in your finances and future plans. That's exactly the terrifying reality for a farmer in Skibbereen, County Cork, after €30,000 worth of cattle vanished into thin air. Cattle rustling might sound like something out of an old Western film, but this modern-day theft is all too real and has locals on edge. But here's where it gets controversial. Could this isolated incident be a sign of organized crime creeping into rural areas? Or is it just opportunistic thieves exploiting vulnerabilities in our farming systems? Gardaí are deeply involved in probing this bizarre occurrence, which experts are labeling as highly unusual. Authorities are urgently seeking witnesses following the theft of 18 cattle from a farm in Skibbereen. Specifically, the stolen animals include 12 Friesian heifers and 6 Friesian bulls, each valued at a total of €30,000. These young bovines, roughly 1 year old, were taken from a farmyard in the Lakelands area sometime between Sunday, November 23rd and Monday, November 24th. To put this in perspective for beginners, Friesian cattle are a popular breed known for their black and white coats and high milk production, making them prized in dairy farming. The farm owner Brian Lawler shared his story with RTE's Morning Ireland, admitting he didn't notice the cattle were gone right away because the culprits were clever in their approach. They cleared out all the cattle from one enclosure, but then strategically moved other animals into that same pen to mask the emptiness and make it less conspicuous, Lawler explained. This calculated deception suggests the thieves knew what they were doing, potentially indicating insider knowledge or prior scouting. Lawler expressed genuine fear that the Rustlers might come back for more from his larger herd of about 200 cows. We've all heard tales of missing livestock before, but you never expect it to knock on your own door, he said, capturing the emotional toll on rural communities where trust and security are foundational. These stolen cattle were destined for breeding purposes, which adds another layer of complexity. They had undergone DNA testing, allowing Lawler to know their economic breeding index, EBI. In simple terms for newcomers, EBI is a score that predicts how profitable a cow will be based on traits like milk yield, fertility, and health, essentially quantifying their genetic worth. This testing also makes them traceable, a key detail in the investigation. Dennis Drennan, the president of the Irish Creamery and Milk Suppliers Association, ICMSA, echoed the sentiment that this theft is highly unusual. These are just 1-year-old animals, far from ready for slaughter, he pointed out, highlighting why typical beef markets wouldn't be interested. Ireland's Animal Information and Movement System, AIMS, mandates that every cattle movement is recorded and approved, ensuring traceability from birth to sale. For those unfamiliar, AIMS is like a digital passport for cows, helping prevent disease outbreaks and verifying origins. Think of it as a farm-to-fork tracking system. Drennan argued that executing such a heist would require a whole underground network, transporters to move the cattle discreetly, an illicit slaughterhouse to process them without detection, an undercover butcher to handle the meat, and buyers willing to purchase unverified, untraceable beef. And this is the part most people miss. The sheer logistics suggest this isn't a spur-of-the-moment crime, but possibly part of a black market operation, potentially involving illegal meat sales that bypass health and safety standards. Controversially, does this expose weaknesses in our food supply chain, or could it hint at deeper issues like demand for cheap, unchecked products in some communities? The Gardaí are pleading for information from anyone who might have seen something suspicious. If you were driving along the R637 or R593 roads in the Lakelands area of Skibbereen that night and have dashcam footage or any details, please contact the investigating officers at Skibbereen Garda Station on 028-230-88. Your tip could crack this case wide open. Readers like you are keeping these stories free for everyone. A blend of ads and generous contributions ensures we can share valuable information without paywalls. Over 5,000 readers like you have already pitched in with monthly subscriptions or one-time donations. Join them and help sustain independent reporting. What are your thoughts on this alarming trend of rural thefts? Should stricter penalties be introduced for livestock rustlers, Or is this a symptom of broader society? We'd love to hear your opinions. Agree, disagree, or share your own experiences in the comments below.